Hello everybody, this is Debbie with Cool Cats Art. Okay, well today for my first video, I'm going to do a cloud pour. And as with any acrylic pour technique, really the key is paint consistency, because that's probably the main thing in any of your acrylic pours. Is whatever technique you're doing, make sure the consistency of the paints is correct for that technique. And the way that I do that most of the time, sometimes I do eyeball it by look or feel, but the smart thing to do is to use a consistency gauge like I have here, which is what I've used for all of the paints that I've mixed up today. It has a little circle at the top of it. You put a dollop of your paint in that, you stand it on its edge, you count to 5, and you see how far down the paint has rolled, and there's numbers on the side here to indicate, you know, how thick or thin it is. The smaller the number, the thicker the paint, the higher the number, of course, the thinner the paint. And so for a cloud pour, I want the consistency of my paints to run right around the 3 mark. Right around 3. When I hold it up for 5 seconds, I want that paint to have dripped down to about the 3. It's not an exact science, but it's pretty close. This consistency gauge I got from Tammy Anderson's YouTube page, and she had a link to it, a PDF. I'm sure it'd be pretty easy to find if you Google that. If I can, I'll put that down in the description. Okay, now how do we know how much paint we're going to need to mix up for this size canvas, which is a 16 by 20? Well, I use an online calculator that Olga Sotheby has. I will try to put a link to that too, but there's a number of online paint calculators for acrylic pouring on the website that you can look up and download, and I definitely urge you to go by that, because you don't want to have too little paint and you don't want to mix up too much either. For this size of canvas, 16 by 20, with a medium consistency paint, you'll usually find them listed for thin, thick, and medium paints. I'm classifying this as a medium thickness. I need approximately 13 ounces of paint for this to cover the canvas. I'm going to fill up, or almost fill up, these 2 cups. These are 8-ounce cups. So I'm going to fill them up, each one just a little bit shy of the top, and I should have gracious plenty paint to go around. And I'm going to pour the cool colors on the top, and I'm going to pour the warm colors on the bottom. Now, all my colors are listed in the description box and the order in which I'm going to layer them in a cup, so I don't have to spend time telling you that on the video. And I'm going to speed up this portion of the video while I layer the cups. I'll start with my cool color cup. Okay, I've got my cups layered now, and I'm going to start the pour. This cup is layered with my cool colors listed in the description box. I'm not going to pour a puddle on this canvas to start out with. Some artists do, some don't. I've done it both ways. I kind of like not starting out with a puddle, and if I do, just a very small one, because if you put too big of a puddle here and you start pouring the paint on it, it spreads out and really starts rolling over the canvas before you're ready to tilt it. So I kind of like it to stay more or less in place while I'm doing the pour, and so I'm not going to pour a puddle on either one of them today. All right, I've got my paint layered up, and we're going to start up here at the top. I don't know, I think I'll pour it probably somewhere around here. These puddles are going to they're going to merge eventually when I start tilting them, but I want enough room for it to spread too, so I'll start it about here. And these paints are quite thick. That's some really pretty looking colors in there, that's for sure. Okay, we're gonna let that sit and percolate for just a bit while I pour the warm colors down here. Let's give it a torch, activate some of this. I'm seeing some cloud activity in here, much more over here than here, but this one, the blue one's been sitting longer, so that could change here. As I pop some of these bubbles, I see quite a few other things starting to come up. Okay. This one's been sitting longer. I can see a lot of development. This one has just started. So we're gonna have to give this a little while a few minutes anyway, to percolate and have those satin enamels start reacting a little bit more with the matte paint. Hope this is enough paint. It was what the calculator said, so hopefully it will be. One thing is, if you get a section that you don't like, once you start spreading it out, tilting it out, which I think this one may wind up being okay, you can, if you've got enough paint left, and it looks like I do have some left, go back and pour right on top of that. I've did that several times before. But in order to spread this out, I'm gonna have to put some flow paint in around it. This is some white acrylic paint that I mixed up with some floetrol that I'm gonna spread. Okay, I got the flow paint on, I got it buttered up on the sides. It looks like it's probably sat around about long enough, so I can pick it up and start stretching it. And I may wind up, I've got it on the spinner, so I may wind up spinning some of it too. So let's start to see what we get here. I've got an idea about these corners that I'm having difficulty getting it to completely spread there. It looks like there's plenty of paint there, but I'm going to make up another little bitty cup of paint, layer some more colors here. And just do a little, I think what I'm going to call a cheater pour right here. on this canvas. You know, I think I'm really digging it. Okay, well, we're just gonna let this dry, and tomorrow it should be pretty good to go, at least to move off of this and continue drying on the drying table. But I'm gonna take the camera down and bring you in for a flyby while it's wet. It really is pretty. I really, really do love it. I really hope those cells don't grow a whole lot more. It's gonna eat up my entire dark middle. I think I may have put too much white near the dark, and that's what's happened. But it's too late now. Okay, let's do a flyby of it. It's pretty. And there's my gussied up corner. It looks fine. Here's the gussied up corner down here, and I like it a lot. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like and subscribe button, and stay tuned for more from Cool Cats Art.